I think, of course, they're great support here, as we know, and that's the position of the team. We're always trying to be as positive as we can, and I think we all probably appreciate it's a hell of a lot of runs to try and score. I think it's 550 tomorrow, and I don't think we've seen scoring rates quite that quick in a day. So of course, challenging will be challenging, but I think we've got a few overs, probably about another 10 to 15 overs with the balls at the hardest point before it gets a little bit soft, and then we'll see how we're going from that point, really.
I think things have changed since you were a player. Is there a point? Will there ever be a point where you'll say to the lads, stick those shots in the shelf and play for the draw?
I don't think we use that sort of language. It's not the sort of change room that we are, but we're not naive enough to know that it's a very challenging total that you sort of play. Do you just go in your bunker and just sort of dig it out? And some players may do that. You just don't know, really. And it's individuals that can sort of adapt to the game and understand what's happening. But you've got to understand our change room is a different type of culture in terms of to what we've done in the past.
And I just wonder, did how long it took India to declare and how big they allowed the total to get? Was that a strange kind of feather in your cap that maybe they thought 500 you wouldn't do?
I don't know. I expected it to sort of be sort of 550. I thought was going to be around the sort of target they would set. But it is what it is, right? You're sitting there as a opposition trying to make a judgment call on when they're going to make that call, and fair enough, they make their own decisions after that.
We'll go to the front here, Tres.
Coach, just want to ask that: is this the most challenging, the day coming up, knowing that it's the biggest as far as the day total your boys are going to about to chase? Is this the most challenging day for the so-called baseball era?
It'd be a challenging day, no doubt. I think we've had various test matches over the period of time that Brendan and Ben have been in charge, and the way that we've gone about things. Sometimes we've got them really good and we've done them really well, and other times we haven't. So we've had challenges. We've had various different games where we've won and lost. So we kind of know the situation. You know the score you've got to try and chase. Let's just wait and see. But of course, it'll be challenging.
Marcus, do you see a difference in the skills of the fast bowlers from the two teams? But the way the English bowlers have bowled, and the way Akashdeep and Mohammad Siraj have bowled?
With respect, no, not really. I think both teams have got good bowling groups. I think India have used the new ball really well, and bowled the ball in the right place and got the rewards. I think if you look back to day one, we had 3 LBW shouts where we thought were pretty close. Didn't go in our way as it can do in this game. So it could have been different at that point, but you're both very good bowlers in both teams, so I don't think it's too much difference.
Go Will and then Mel, please. Go ahead, Will.
Marcus, would you accept that a draw is a good result from there?
I think whenever the situation is challenging, of course it is. I think if you get to the point where you can draw the game, of course. We're not stupid enough to understand that you have to just win or lose. There is 3 results possible in every game that you play, but we have done some things in our time that we are different to what we've done it before. So we'll see what happens.
And in that session of batting tonight, did you see anything about pitch that suggesting we shouldn't be able to bat 90 overs with 7%?
Well, I think you could see from our first innings, right? So we were 3 down overnight. We came out the next day. Obviously, we lost a couple of early wickets, and then we had a monster partnership that's really sort of put us back to getting back into the game. So it's definitely possible. I think once the ball goes softer, it definitely gets a little bit easier, and hasn't seemed as much as what it does when it's new. So if we can potentially bat a bit better, or maybe not lose the 2 wickets that we did straight up on the morning of day 3, then who knows?
Sorry, Marcus, just to be really blunt and clear about it, down in the dressing room right now at the end of today, is the message still we can win this game?
I think we're talking positive language in terms of how we go about it, and let's just remind ourselves about the difference that we do. We are a different team to what we've had in the past. So.
And the idea that we don't do draws, I know what you just said to Will, but is that almost I guess there's some things that the team has done a little bit differently this time, say the way that they chased it Headingley. Is there, I guess, a bit of flexibility in the thinking when it comes to that man job?
Of course there is, yeah, absolutely. This has kind of been built up away from probably what the changing room messages are. So, I think you guys have a perception of what you think goes on in the change room, and we understand it a little bit more in the perception of what we're trying to do. So, we're trying to give the players the best opportunity to win games every time that we go out to play, and then if we can't do that, then we try and adapt accordingly and plan ahead to what we're going to try and do.
Last one here, please.
Is Joe Root and Ben Stokes' form with the bat a concern in the dressing room?
No.
Cool. We're done. Cheers, Trev. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone.